to say that he would have gone for the marathon final on all-weather finals day, and that he's good on the all-weather with 2 miles being ideal for him. So the conditions are ideal for him as well. So it's hard to see past Withhold to me, but I guess at the price is probably just, I'd have to go with Mildenberger.
Mildenberger, it's at 9-2. Ross, the Cigaro for you.
Yeah, same horse for me, Mildenberger. I hope that the abundance of Johnston runners in the lineup means that one of them will be giving a lead to Mildenberger. Most likely King's Advice, given that Joe Fanning is booked, and that he's a very big price. He's drawn in 1 as well, so in my mind, King's Advice goes on to lead. Mildenberger sits on the heels and kicks on down the home straight. So hopefully that will happen. When he did make the run in here at this track, which is usually a negative, he still ran an absolute cracker behind Raymond Tusk and Funny Kid in a very, very strong time back in December. So, yeah, Withhold's he's just one of those horses that I've never really warmed to. If you get in on the gambles, as it were, then I guess you can... You might be on his side, but it's a good renewal. It's a really good race. I mean, Ispolini has been making hay around the world. Nayef Road was running in some really good races. Obviously, interesting to see how the Logician form starts to work out. Rainbow Dream has taken to the all-weather incredibly well over the winter. Prince of Arran, of course, whose Australian form is very much of interest, but he will obviously be prepped for another trip to the Melbourne Cup, I'm sure.
I thought Prince of Arran was quite interesting in this. Has Charlie Fellows put in a pacemaker as well with Jeremiah off the back of an absence? Because Jeremiah,
yeah, possibly,
he's got no real need to be in there. He's a horse that does go forward. He's off the back of a big absence, so it will blow away the cobwebs regardless. I can see Prince of Arran running a really big race in this, especially on the all-weather, and only 98 days off, whereas quite a few of the others have got 200 plus days off.
Yeah, he's a class act. Yeah, I agree. And you're right. It's an interesting spot with Jeremiah. Yeah, that could be the case. And hopefully, like I said, both King's Advice and Jeremiah will set a decent clip for those to come off the pace a little bit. But yeah, hopefully, I'm with Kate. Hopefully, Mildenberger he's definitely got the ability. I just hope he gets the race run to suit.
The last one's about to go forward. That will be Mildenberger. If Jeremiah is a pacemaker, he's drawn perfectly and still late just on the outside of Prince of Arran. As we are just about set now over at Newcastle, let's go and take in the call.
This market is now in play.
And they're off. For the Group 3 Betway Cigaro Stakes, they race over an extended 2 miles, and Withhold has moved through to take an early lead. Ahead of in second position at Rainbow Dreamer, King's Advice along the rails, a little wider out, and pushing forward is Nayef Road to now lie up pretty much as one with Withhold as they settle themselves down through the opening furlong and a half or so. It's Withhold by a head over Nayef Road, who races a close second, with back in third along the inside Rainbow Dreamer, then a little wider out to Mildenberger. A length and a half off those races, King's Advice, who's a further neck in advance of Prince of Arran. Ispolini is running next in the all-royal blue colours. Then the pink of Jeremiah, who's over to the inside of Sir Chauvelin. Royal Line is in second last, and All Right Sunshine can see them all as they head away from us and out towards the far side of the track and their final mile and a half. So it is the former Northumberland Plate winner, Withhold, who shows out in the lead by around about 3/4 of a length over the St Ledger third from last season, Nayef Road. That one races a close second. Rainbow Dreamer along the inside. A prolific winner back last term is along the inside, racing in third at this stage, being tracked through by King's Advice, who won 8 times last season, that one in the yellow and white jacket up along the rails. Mildenberger is a little bit wider out on the track, looking for a hat-trick of wins on the all-weather. Chased a couple of lengths away by the Melbourne Cup runner-up Prince of Arran, who's in midfield at this stage, racing about a length and a half ahead of Jeremiah, who keeps company with last season's or the former German St Ledger winner Ispolini, is in the all-royal blue jacket up around the outside. In behind Ispolini is Sir Chauvelin, and then Royal Line, who's still at the back end of the field here with All Right Sunshine, who's of course up in class today. That one the back marker, and around about 10 lengths or so off Withhold, who takes them on to the halfway point. So it continues to be Withhold, showing by half a length to in second position, Nayef Road. Back in third is Rainbow Dreamer, Mildenberger back in fourth. Then King's Advice, a further length away to Prince of Arran. Then follows Jeremiah racing together with Ispalini, Sir Chauvelin, Royal Line, and All Right Sunshine still at the back end of the field. They haven't gone a breakneck gallop then as they head towards the final 3/4 of a mile of their journey in today's feature here at Gosforth Park. And it is Withhold who shows out in the lead under Richard Kingscote by around about a neck over Nayef Road in second place. A length and a half back in third is Rainbow Dreamer, then Mildenberger in fourth. Another length away to King's Advice and then Prince of Arran. 2 lengths off those race both Jeremiah and Ispalini. Another 2 lengths away is Royal Line, who holds the inside of Sir Chauvelin, and the back marker continues to be All Right Sunshine as they're swinging left-handed now back towards the home straight. They've got a half-mile left to travel in the Group 3 Betway Sagaro Stakes, and Withhold, in an attempt to make every yard of the running here, will straighten up in front, but only just to Nayef Road in second. Now being pushed along in third is Rainbow Dreamer. The grey colours of Mildenberger is attempting to get involved, as is King's Advice along the inside. Prince of Arran follows those. Ispalini with work to do. Then Jeremiah, Royal Line, All Right Sunshine and Sir Chauvelin. Under 2 furlongs to go. Withhold has now been attacked by Nayef Road towards the near side. Rainbow Dreamer running a great race along the inner. Further back to Prince of Arran, who's staying on. Mildenberger down the outside. They head inside the final furlong now. It is Nayef Road out in front by 3 parts of a length over Mildenberger, Prince of Arran, and then along the inside is Rainbow Dreamer going close home. It's
still in the call and messaging us, but
why is he still in the call?
He just
stick your video on, Andrew. Stick your video on.
He just doesn't want to leave. That's his problem. Is Andrew? We can't get rid of him. He doesn't actually work here anymore. He just doesn't go. Ross, I'll put Volconic to you, a horse who we've seen once, and on that once was wildly impressive.
Yes, he was. Yes.
Do you not think he was wildly impressive?
No, I do think he was really impressive. However, I remember at the time there was a lot of talk about him being impressive, yet the time was average and the figure was a bit poor. But then, so I think Simon Rowlands did a proper sectional spotlight into him, basically saying that to do what he did off that modest gallop means he's a proper animal. And obviously he's a very expensive, beautifully bred specimen. So, yeah, of course he was impressive. I guess at the time, when I first did the figures, I was like, maybe he just beat some average rivals, which he did. But yeah, I agree. He's a really nice type, and he's a fascinating contender on his first start on turf in, admittedly, what looks like a cracking little race, and with one of my favourite winter horses running it against him as well.
I feel like you're going to try and take him on at the prices.
Just because, well, I have 2 horses in my tracker off the back of decent runs. Al-Azi is one of them. I thought he ran an absolute blinder on debut last year. I thought he was a lovely, lovely run behind Tom Collins. But I loved the way Punctuation did it at Kempton. Again, that figure was fantastic. He might well be a more of a middle distance horse in time than a few of these, and he might get going a bit too late. But he just destroyed them in a really, really strong figure. So I'm going to sign with Punctuation. I'm not sure this is his race, but I do really like him as a horse. But Volconic looks really interesting. Al-Azi, like I said, caught the eye big time on his debut last year. And even the outsiders, Luncey's and Formality have shown little bits. Formality was in that Tom Collins race as well. So it's a cracking little contest.
Kate, they are loading, so very quickly, just summarise this for us.
Volconic has been obviously a massive highlight horse for a lot of people going into this, being half-brother to Volgeist. And as Ross was just saying there, the overall time of that win wasn't anything too impressive, but the closing sectionals he posted were. So, he's the one for me, unfortunately, at the prices.
Last one, about to go forward over at Newmarket for the Newmarket Stakes, as we are just about set. I think we might be waiting for Punctuation, the Queen's runner, out the back of the stalls for Andrew Balding and Oisin Murphy, as now Punctuation is about to slide forward. We'll go and take the call over at HQ with Ian Bartlett.
Tell us a scarlet cap worn by James Doy and Formality, who is already into store number 1. All in.
This market is now in
Sam.
play.
They're off. Mile and a quarter is the choke. Valkonig is the slowest one, but only marginally to get into stride for this Betfair Newmarket Stakes. And one of his stablemates, Cherokee Trail, is the first one to show. Green Jacket, light green jacket of the First King is up there, and against the running rail is Volcan Star. Mishrif in maroon is furthest from the rail. Luntz is a yellow jacket, is just in behind. Then comes Punctuation with Valkonig, red and green jacket against the running rail, and maybe about 2 lengths behind to the white face of Formality, who's just at the back of the field. They head them down towards the final 3/4 of a mile. Cherokee Trail, Ryan Moore in blue and orange. The all-blue, William Buick on Volcan Star, the leading pair. Mishrif, David Egan, maroon colours just in behind them, shows in third, furthest from the running rail. Al-Azi, blue and white colours in the centre with Jim Crowley. Yellow jacket for Callum Shepherd on Lunces is next. In behind those in green, David Probert on the First King is being ridden along. Valkonig, Frankie Dettori, red and green against the running rail, travelling strongly at this stage. Punctuation, a black cap for Sheen Murphy is next, and the scarlet cap on Formality. James Doyle just at the rear of the field, but they can see the 3 marker now. Valkonig at this stage is 6th, and just being ridden along a little bit is his stablemates Mishrif and Cherokee Trail are alongside Volcan Star. Now that big stride of Valkonig getting going is moved into 4th. Al-Azi behind him. Lunces comes next. They're all very ready, very well strung out here as they head down into the final 2. Mishrif on the left leading. On the right, the blue Volcan Star. Valkonig is 2 lengths behind him in 3rd position as they head down.
But at least Palace Pier has got the second race to have backed him up, and it's back in a handicap here, so it's hard to oppose him.
Palace Pier at 11 to 10. Ross, is it a clean studio sweep for Palace Pier?
No, I'm going to side with the emailer. I think Acquitted is interesting. I mean, it's a good race. I'm be interested. The most interesting thing for me is the tactics that are going to be employed here, because both Minosky and Palace Pier in the same ownership tend to get on with things a little bit. So I'm interested to see exactly how this unfolds. In theory, you'd assume that Minosky will go on and Palace Pier will sit in behind, but yeah, I think that Acquitted form was pretty good. Again, Night of Thunder, we were talking limited evidence on the surface, but so far that's a win and a third from limited runners. We had the first winner was by Night of Thunder. The form is strong. Acquitted's already won on the all-weather over at Kempton as well. I think Palace Pier is a very, very talented horse, but to me Acquitted looks like he might be a real all-weather specialist. And again, you got the right man in the saddle.
Yeah, Ben Curtis on board for Hugo Palmer. Acquitted 2-1 chance. It's hard to see how many we've got left to go forward from the angle. I think there might be a couple left to take place in the stalls. And Bolden is one of them, and he's a keeper. Also just waiting out the back of the stalls. So last chance to get those bets on if you do wish to get involved with us here at William Hill, as we hopefully aren't too far away from a start. We're just waiting for the other two. I'm not really sure what's happening because they're not exactly rushing to put them forward, but now Embolden takes place in the stalls. Now he just had a bit of a freeze before going forward, so absolute last chance for the 3:15. Of course, the 2,000 guineas where Pinatubo returns is upcoming at 3:35 here live on William Hill Racing Radio.
This market is now in play,
and they're off. For the Betway Heed Your Hunch handicap over the straight mile, Palace Pier just reined back there. One of the first ones to show will be Minosky down the near side of Embolden, and away to the right-hand side is He's a Keeper. They're being followed through by Acquitted in the dark blue and grey coloured jacket over to the near side. Grey with the blue cap of Palace Pier is at this stage racing just ahead of Rich Belief in the red and white, and the black with the pink spots of Yoshimi at the back of the field. They're fairly tightly grouped, around about 5 or 6 lengths covering top to tail as they cover the opening 2.5 furlongs. And out in the lead it is Minosky for trainer Mark Johnston, who's seeking his third winner of the day, and jockey Joe Fanning looking for his second. Second place is held at present by Embolden. Then towards the near side, Acquitted, with on the far side, He's a Keeper, Palace Pier, the blue cap is running next, and then over towards this side is Rich Belief, and Yoshimi just being urged along ever so slightly, the back marker of the 7. Making the journey on for their final 3 furlongs. They're now well through halfway. Minosky out in the lead, but only just. Now shaken up towards the far side in Bolden. Away to the far right is He's a Keeper. Acquitted is now making his presence felt over towards the near side, and Palace Pier now also beginning to make a move. They head down inside the final quarter of a mile, and Acquitted now has taken over from a tiring Minosky. Palace Pier is off after Acquitted, but has got a couple of lengths to find and needs to find them quickly. A furlong left to travel here. Acquitted not stopping. Palace Pier over to the far side is gradually edging a little bit closer though, and now Palace Pier gets on